some things that you can add in that you should be adding in each day anyways. And then at the end, I have a product for you guys that I want to introduce you to. It's actually probably, I would be extremely surprised if any of you have heard of this before because it was so new to me. I found it really fast. Zach, you may have heard of it because I know you do a little bit of gardening. So, okay. So the first thing that we want to add in is a probiotic. If you guys were in on the gut health, teachings that we talked about, probiotics was one of the things I talked about then as well. But the probiotics are good for just general gut health, but it's also good for your microbiome. So what a probiotic does, so your body, your gut has millions of bacteria in it. And sometimes the bacteria, you can kill the microbiome in the bacteria in your gut just by eating one bad meal. And if you're on antibiotics, you're pretty much wiping all of that. You need the good bacteria. You need that microbiome to be strong and healthy in your body every single day. Good for your brain. It's good for digestion and all these things that your body needs just to operate. So you have to have good bacteria. What the probiotic does is gives you more good bacteria. So now you have it's like part of the ecosystem. You know what I mean? Like when you have a garden, we'll go back to the garden theory. When you have a garden, you're growing the garden and you want your vegetables to bloom and blossom and grow good, healthy fruits and vegetables. What do? You fertilize it. And the best way to fertilize it is with the best type of fertilizer, which is compost. And compost is broken down with other, food scraps that you're eating. So almost like a probiotic you can kind of think of as a compost. You know what I mean? It's the best type of bacteria that you can put into your gut because you want to keep everything strong and healthy. So if you have allergies, inflammation, probiotics are something you should absolutely take a look at. It's good for your mood. It's good for stress management. It's good for your digestion. And it also protects you from the harmful bacteria. If you don't eat organic, you're kind of exposed to pesticides, so when you have good, healthy, strong microbiome and you have a good, strong, healthy gut, that will help fight any of the harmful bacteria. We're all exposed to toxins every day. It's in the environment, it's in the air. I've talked about this before, like once a year, we all live in Florida. This happens whether you know it or not. Planes fly overhead and they spray down mist that kills mosquitoes. You don't even know it's there. We're exposed to it all the time. So the healthier your gut microbiome is, the healthier you're going to be able to fight all these toxins. If you think of it in a sense, there's actually, your body is exposed to the outside world from your mouth down through your tube and all the way out, through your anus. So you have this tube that is constantly exposed to the outside world, if you think of it in that sense. So definitely, if you can, if you don't already, add in a probiotic. The next thing, number 2, is a prebiotic. So there is a difference between the prebiotic and the probiotic. Some probiotics do have prebiotics in it. So you look at your bottle, it might already have it. But what that does, why this is important, and it's a little bit less talked about, but I feel that it's just as important as a probiotic, is because it feeds the good bacteria that you already have. So now you're doing something that that gives you the good bacteria. Now you have the prebiotic that's going to feed it. Okay. So you can actually get more prebiotics out of the food that you eat than you can kind of from a supplement, because it is a little bit more natural. You can get it from Jerusalem artichokes, onions, chicory, garlic, leeks, green bananas, but when it's green enough where you can actually peel the banana. Some fruit also has, like if you're eating the skin on your fruit, that has a lot of good healthy prebiotics in it. Soybeans, asparagus, green tea, and kefir. And kefir is basically, you've probably maybe have seen it. It's almost like a yogurt style drink, but it's really not milk. It's not really like the milk. It's not yogurt. It's kefir. So it's been fermented. Why you can get the prebiotics from this is because your gut will take all of the fiber that's out of all of these foods, and the fiber then goes into your small intestine. That's where the nutrients are absorbed, is through your small intestines. And that's where the fiber gets pushed down to. That fiber then turns into the prebiotic. That prebiotic feeds the good bacteria that's already in your system. I hope I didn't lose anybody. Does that make sense? We got probiotics, it gives you good bacteria. Prebiotics feeds the bacteria. Okay, so the next thing that I like is an L-glutamine. So glutamine is actually, it's an amino acid and it's a building block to the protein that's in your body. So it's crucial to your immune system. Also having like the glutamine, your body can produce its own glutamine, but there are glutamine supplements that you can take, but it is crucial to the protein that will protect your organs. So it makes your organs a little bit stronger, especially your gut. The body can synthesize significant amounts of it, but under stress, your body kind of like, it's like a wash. You know what I mean? If you're stressed, your body will not synthesize the glutamine. So you can get it from diet, but again, if you're under a lot of stress, glutamine is something that you might want to start adding in. I suggest doing it in a powder form because it's a little bit more absorbed. It also boosts the immunity cell activities in your gut. So it helps prevent from infection and inflammation. And also if you have leaky gut, L-glutamine helps make that barrier a little bit stronger, because what you want to do is you want to make your barrier to the gut as strong as you can, so you get a nice, it's like a mucus layer so if you have leaky gut, this is your intestine and it's kind of like broken up now and all these particles are going in. These toxins go into your bloodstream, and that's what causes a lot of inflammation. If you have IBS or anything like that, this is what's going on. So when you have the L-glutamine and you're building that mucus barrier, then there's nothing, it's like blocking it to go in. And so now your intestines have a chance and your gut has a chance to lock back up again. It gets to go back to where it needs to be. And it keeps all of these toxins from going into your blood. Naturally, you can get L-glutamine out of eggs, beef, and skim milk, tofu, and white rice. It's not a long list, but if you eat those things common, like in your diet all the time, you probably might be okay. But I mean, a lot of people eat eggs, but I don't think everybody eats enough eggs to get a significant amount. So there are supplements that you can take as an L-glutamine scoop. You can take 1 to 2 scoops. If anybody wants to do this, don't just go out and buy an L-glutamine. I'll give you the names of a couple brands that I truly trust and I believe in. So the last thing, it's pronounced Purslane, but a lot of people actually pronounce it as Purslane because of the way that's spelled, P-U-R-S-L-A-N-E, Purslane. It's actually commonly known as a weed, and it is in a lot of gardens as a weed. And it takes about 2 months to grow. But this is actually a weed that is very healthy for you. They have done so much research and studies on this particular weed that they have found, like, before it turns into, like, a weed gets, when it grows, it's just like anything that grows, it starts out soft, right? That's where you want to eat it, not when it becomes a hard woody stem, because that's a weed. That's like overgrown weed. But you can actually find this pretty much in your own garden, not so much in the stores. I've looked for it in Whole Foods. I've looked for it in Sprouts. I haven't found it anywhere yet. I believe that farmers are going to kind of start catching on to this, and we might be able to find it soon in the stores. But you can buy your own pot and soil and seeds. You can buy nice organic seeds and you can grow them, and then you just cut them and you can use them in like pesto or anything. But this actually has been studied for a little while now and has become a little more popular because it's one of the top plants that provides the highest amount of vitamin E and an essential omega-3 fatty acid. As you know, we've talked about omegas before, and omegas are usually found in fish, like oily fish oil, some mostly like in aquatic plants like algae. So that's where you would get most of your omega-3s. But this plant actually has one of the higher amounts of essential fatty acids. So it's really interesting that they're finding this, and that's why it's probably gonna like boom. The actual whole analysis of this particular plant, it provides 6 times more vitamin E than spinach and 7 times more beta carotene than carrots. It's also rich in vitamin C, magnesium, potassium, and phosphorus. Omega-3s are the polyunsaturated essential fatty acids. So in a sense, your body cannot manufacture these essential fatty acids. You do need to get them from food. Like I said, mostly you'll find them in the oily fish. And so if you don't eat fish, you probably are supplementing with an omega. Or if you're not eating like some of the algae plants, then you probably are getting it through the supplement as well, the omegas. Okay, so I have actually never gotten my hands on it. I've never tried it before, but from what I understand, that it's crunchy and it has a little bit of a lemony taste. And a lot of people are using it now, like in sandwich, kind of like almost like microgreens now. You can see them like in sandwiches or salads, kind of like as a topper. You can substitute it like as a spinach. It will wilt like a spinach. So you can steam it or stir fry it. It also has a high level of pectin, so you can use it as a thickener in soups and stews. So that's what I have. Those are the things that I would like everyone to kind of take, take it for what it's worth if you want to add that into your diet.